Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dimes with Dara on the Joyce Lot podcast, brought to you by irishsportsdaily.com. I am Greg Flamong. In just 1 second, we're going to get to an interview with Sonia Citron. We're going to talk about a number of things with her. We're going to talk about growing up as a basketball player, matriculating to Notre Dame, why she chose Notre Dame. We're going to talk to her about her relationship with Dara Mabry and their close bond that they have. So it's going to be a really good interview. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. Please like this video, and please leave us a comment or hit the notification bell so whenever it is we are going live. And before we get to the interview, I want to talk to you guys about a couple of our sponsors. The first of which is ESQ Clothing, which is founded by Notre Dame alum Ga Wang. You've seen ESQ on all of your favorite Notre Dame players and coaches, and it's with over a decade of making the best custom clothing available. ESQ will help you look and feel your best in 2024. From a perfect fitting suit or sport coat, shirt, or bomber jacket, or that perfect tuxedo for wedding season, check out Ga's amazing work at esqclothing.com and book an appointment to upgrade your wardrobe today. Mention ISD and get 10% off your entire purchase. And I also want to thank our other this show, which is VSR Media, which is founded by Notre Dame football pregame host and Emmy award-winning anchor Vahid Sadrazadeh. VSR Media specializes in professional and cinematic video and photo. Whether you're looking for a collegiate or pro-level highlight reel, have a personal story to tell, or are aiming to diversify and grow your business, VSR Media specializes in short and long-form video storytelling, social media management, and website design. VSR Media also captures professional headshots, senior, and sports photos. Contact them at vsrmediacompany.com and mention Irish Sports Daily to receive 20% off your first project. Visit them online or give them a call at 574-800-9106. All right, let's get Dara in here. Let's get Sonia here for our interview. All right, we are here with Notre Dame guard Sonia Citron, and of course, as always, Dara Mabry. The two best friends are on the podcast together. I don't think you're in the same location, but you could be because you're very close friends, as Dara tells me. Sonia, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, kick off the show straight away. I need to hear about your friend here. I need to hear about Dara Mabry.
Okay.
Let's hear it. I want to know about how you two became so close, right? So you're good friends. You arrive as a freshman. Dara is on the scene. She's fiery character. I've seen text messages during the games. It's a very entertaining time when Dara is watching you ladies play. But tell me about your friend Dara over here.
Yeah, I mean, so much to say about my Dara. But the first thing that comes to my head, I think I've told this story so many times. The first time me and Dara ever
Oh
met,
my God.
I was a freshman, and I think most people know that I'm pretty shy, reserved, especially to people that I don't really know. And Dara can be similar, but also very different. And so was this when you were living with Nat or with Abby? I think it was
Abby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dara and Abby were living together at their apartment, and we were having like a get together. So I came over. This was in the summer. And I walk in, Dara and Nat are in their bedroom, in Dara's bedroom, and I think Dara's doing her makeup. I
was sitting down for reference. Yeah. I'm sitting down in the vanity, and my doorway is right there, and it's wide open.
Mm-hmm. And I was already nervous, like, oh, this is the first time I'm going to meet like a bunch of my teammates. Dara was obviously older. You were a senior, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I walk in, and I was like, oh, hi. And Dara, doing her makeup, looks to the door and is like, wow, you're big. And I was like, oh my God, wow. Like, I was like, nice to meet you. Gave me a hug, met her and Nat. And that was the first thing she ever said to me.
For reference, I said something else that she's not allowed to say on the podcast. Yeah. I said, you're big as, and you can finish the rest, starting with the F.
What a shocking surprise that you added a little bit of a what have you there.
Well, I looked at her and I was like, wow.
Okay, but you are tall, right? So you're 6'1", and for a guard now, like you're taller than your brother is, William, right? Who's a soccer player at Virginia.
We're like the same height almost. Like sometimes I might look taller, sometimes you might look taller, but basically same height. Maybe can give me half an inch.
Yeah. So it's interesting to me though. So okay, this leads to kind of a conversation. Something that I was wondering is, you're a guard. You have guard skills, right? You're a very good 3-point shooter, right? 40%, basically. Like shot 40% last year. You're shooting 39 something percent. It probably rounds up to 40%. But I imagine growing up, like, you were probably bigger than most people, right? So did they have you playing down low? Like, how did you develop those guard skills when you were playing probably down low for a lot of your young career?
Yeah, so that's one thing that I think I can thank my dad for, because growing up, I was definitely the tallest one on all my teams, high school, AAU, really. But my dad, even when I was little, like second, third, fourth grade, he would tell the coach and be like, you are not playing her as a post. She is not a post. You will not play her as the 5 or the 4, or she won't play on this team. So I was never, ever a post. Even if I was the tallest one, I was handling the ball, I was shooting, I was always working on my guard skills. Like, I was never, ever a post. So I think my dad knew that even though I was tall at that age, I wasn't going to be like 6'4" or 6'5". 6'3", 6'2". Like, I would have been an undersized post. So he knew that. And he was like, nope, she's not going to be a post. So
did you always take to those kind of guard drills? I mean, I assume you showed some sort of aptitude for like handling the ball and shooting the ball. Is that kind of where it came from?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my dad started putting me in training with my trainer, obviously, but we always did guard stuff. Like, would always work on my handle, always work on my shot. So it was something that I was always used to doing. Like, I never had my back to the basket. Like, I would be a guard that would post up, but that was like, being a post was never ever my position. So
when did you pick up basketball?
So I would say, I think I started playing around 2nd or 3rd grade, but it was always my second sport. Like, soccer was my number one. So I started playing soccer when I was 4, because I have a soccer family. Like you said, my brother plays soccer at UVA. All my older cousins, they all played soccer. So I was kind of born into it. So that was always my first love. So I would kind of play soccer first, and then in my free time, like, I would play a soccer game, then like go run over and play, like go to basketball practice or something. So I didn't quit soccer until my freshman year, and I started playing basketball seriously. Like, that's in 8th grade. That's when I knew, like, that's what I wanted to do, is play basketball.
How did you juggle that then as a young lady, right? Because I imagine, like, okay, you didn't just become good at basketball in the 8th grade, right? Like, I'm sure you were always good at it, right?
Yeah.
And I assume that was the case for soccer. What position did you play in soccer?
Soccer. So in club soccer, I was like a midfielder. It's kind of bizarre because sometimes they would play me as a goalie because I was always good with my hands.
Well, tall too.
Yeah, I never played goalie, but just because I was athletic, they would put me in goal. If we were up, I might be in goal. If we were down, they would want me on the field. So I would play like midfielder.
Okay. All right. And so then you make the move over to basketball. All right. I kind of want to get the other end of this, Dara. Give me your impression of Sonia when she shows up. Obviously, so you're a senior, right? And you're used to new freshmen coming in, right? It wasn't your first time having freshmen come into the program, whatever program you were a part of. And so I think, you and I have talked a lot about how you're a leader on the team, right? And you kind of take that role, especially from a vocal standpoint. What was your impression of Sonia when she showed up at Notre Dame?
So I heard that she was quiet. And when I heard that, just like being the person I am, I was like, oh shit, like, I hope she likes me, like, because I don't really know any other person to be besides myself, especially because, like, she was already a part of the family. So it's different, when you have team time or a team gathering at your house with a recruit. It's like my filter. Well, there was no filter because she wasn't a recruit. Like, I was treating her right away like she was family. So when I turned and saw her, I was like, wow, like she really is tall. And like it just came out because I was like, well, shit, she's here. Like she's my teammate. We're going to be family. Like I really don't know another way to treat her. But I think like literally that night we realized like, okay, we're really similar. Like, and me and her have this like really nice balance now where like she's not that I'm not calm, but she is so calm and just neutral all the time where I have a more vibrant personality. So like in certain scenarios, we just have like this perfect balance of a friendship for like, for example, when she wants to do media stuff, she'll text me and I'll be like, okay, do this, this, and this. Boom, check it off. And then for other things, if I just like want free time or I need to settle down and just be so present where I'm at, I literally won't call her or text her. I'll just go and knock on her door and she'll be like, hey, the same way she was when I first met her. Yeah. So it's really a nice balance. Yeah.
Too. I feel like
yeah.
Calms you down.
The meeting you guys are talking about, this is when you are already enrolled, Sonia?
Yeah, so this is like my first like couple of days coming here for summer school before my freshman year.
Yeah.
So
yeah. What was your recruiting trip like?
You mean to Notre Dame?
Yeah.
So I didn't get any officials because of COVID.
Oh, COVID year. Yeah. That's right.
So
okay.
I did visit once, but I think it was my sophomore summer maybe. So I don't think Dara was there.
It wasn't.
I definitely did not meet you. Yeah. So when I was here, I think Muffet was still the coach, first of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was at Virginia Tech.
Yeah. And yeah, so it was like unofficial, very laid back, just wanted to see the campus. Wow.
So was it always gonna be Notre Dame?
No, actually it wasn't. So,
let's talk about it.
Yeah, so sorry, my cat feeder is going off.
Wait, show Billy. The people need to see Billy.
Should I go I trapped him in the bathroom because I didn't want him to
get him. He's a part of the family.
We can hear Billy now. So
this cat is everything. You're gonna love it.
Well, I was told to specifically bring up Billy. I was told to bring up Billy.
Oh my God.
This is Bill.
Is that young William there?
He wants to go. What'd you say? Sorry.
How long have you had Billy?
It was his birthday actually, January 21st. So he's a year old. I got him last March. So
okay.
I can't do
all right.
But
young Billy. All right. So that's good. That's good. We love the cat. Any fun cat stories while we're here?
Yes.
Dara, I see the floor to
you. Sonia, I had surgery. I had my surgery April 13th, and I was on the crutches for like 6 weeks. And that time period of 6 weeks surpassed like graduation and the time where students leave campus and stuff. And Sonia was like, shoot, like I really need someone to watch Billy. It was for like 10 days, I think. And I was like, if he runs out of the house, we're actually screwed. But like, I think I can manage. Right. So I was like, you know what? Like, I think I could do it. I could watch Billy. And me and Billy stayed in my half empty apartment for like 10 days while I was on the crutches. And it was such a lonely time, but like, it wasn't, because me and Billy like built a relationship, and it was like the best time ever.
Like that's the trip. You got so attached to him.
I did. Yeah. Like I love the cat. Like it's my own.
Because before I got Bill, I sent her pictures and I was like, Dara, I think I'm going to get this cat. What do you think? Because I was one of my best friends, like, what do you think? She was like, that cat is ugly. And I was like,
I swear I said that.
Oh my God. I was like, wow, okay, well, I got it anyway. I got him anyway. And then as soon as Dara saw him, I literally, driving back from Chicago, because that's where we picked him up, because me and Dara lived like, we were literally neighbors. So before I even went into my own apartment, I went to Daras and I was like, Dara, look, I showed her a Nat. And she was like, oh my God. And has been obsessed with him ever since. But initially it was, that cat is ugly, Sonia.
He's a ragdoll cat. So I was like, oof, like you're going to have like grooming expenses like no other. Like, oh my God. And now like he is iconic. The best cat.
Well, it's good that the world gets to see Billy now in all of his glory, and hopefully he makes another appearance on the pod. All right, back to the recruiting. Wasn't always Notre Dame. You were considering another thing.
Yes. So my parents, they wouldn't, or let me not say that. Education was very, very important. So that narrowed down a lot of schools. And obviously I knew I wanted to play for a great basketball program, but I also needed the education to also be up there. So I was always my list was kind of like probably Duke, UNC, Notre Dame, Stanford, Michigan. That was probably my top 5, I would say. And then I limited it to Notre Dame and Stanford. Those are my last 2. And I was very, very close to going to Stanford. And then at the last second, I think everything worked out perfectly. Olivia committed to Notre Dame. Coach Ivy got the job. Liv committed. And then, I don't know, it just felt right. And then I chose Notre Dame. But I was very close to going to Stanford.
So you and Liv, the previous relationship, you two played AAU basketball together. So that was
and USA.
Yeah, and so you I believe you won a junior gold medal. Is that correct?
Yeah, U16 FIBA World Cup is when we first played together, and then we played our junior year. We played AAU with the Philly Bells together.
So okay, U16 started playing basketball solo out of 8th grade. Now you're on the U16 USA team, which seems good to me. When did you kind of know, like, okay, this is it? Was it when you made that choice to go like straight, just I'm going to just do basketball, with no soccer? Like, did you know then, or was it before then, or when did you know? Like, all right, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah, honestly, I would say when I really believed it myself, I would say is when I made the U16 team. Because before then, like, obviously my parents would always tell me I was good. And I half believed it. I knew I wasn't bad. Like, I was a good player. But I think when I made that U16 USA team, I finally said to myself, wow, like, I did not think I was going to make it whatsoever. And when I did, I was like, like, you must be pretty good. And then it was after that where I was like, yeah, I can really see myself playing in college and like going somewhere with it.
Did you and I'm going to bring Dara in to answer kind of this question. So like it's you talking to you right now, you sound like a lot like I imagine my oldest daughter will be like, because she's very quiet. And I'm always kind of telling her, like I've told her when she was like really young, and now as she gets older, we kind of talked before we recorded, like hey, you're good. Like, you're a good player, right? And she's very kind of soft spoken, like you are, Sonia. Mm-hmm. And so I'm wondering, Dara, I want to bring you in here. Is it someone like you who like wants to bring out, like, you're a point guard, right? So you want to bring out the best in kind of everyone. I feel like, and just talking to you, like, you kind of take that and put that on yourself. Was it hard for you to did you still have to like remind her, like, hey, you're pretty awesome, like, you're a good basketball player?
That's a really good question, actually. No, like, because Sonia's so neutral and she always remains balanced, like, she doesn't get too high or too low. I never really had to bring her back to her feet, because that's her best attribute, if that makes sense. So that's a really good question, and I think maybe an even better answer. I had to take that one at you, Greg. But yeah, that I think the one thing that I did try to bring out of her was to talk a little bit more, because even though she is very quiet, like, basketball was a game of communication, but she always communicated the right amount. It was never below, it was never up. But when she did come in, like, to Notre Dame, obviously you're a freshman. It's a very big environment. It's competitive. It's intense. I think she was trying to find her way a little bit. So I didn't press the issue too early, because I didn't really know her. Like, and we were thrown in the fire together. Like, you have to learn how to play together. It's a unique thing, but it was really cool because I keep going back to this reference before, but we just had like this really nice balance, really nice. So I don't think I had to bring her back to her feet ever, which was nice because usually with freshmen, that's their emotions. Like you have to bring them back to the moment. But I never had to do that with her. I always just wanted her to talk a little bit more.
Did you kind of pick things up from Dara during your two's time together as teammates?
Bill.
You had to calm me down at times too.
No, I think Dara was that one person that I would constantly look up to. And even though she didn't say she had to bring me back to my feet per se, I think there was definitely a bunch of practices and games where I don't think you knew how much you helped me by just saying like little things, because obviously Dara was a captain. She was a leader. The whole team looked up to her. And I think she helped you without realizing it. And I know I could say that for myself. Like, even if it wasn't directly to me, when we were like in a huddle and she was talking to the team, like she helped me in more ways than she probably knows. Like, even if I don't show it, I might be in my head sometimes. That's for sure. And Dara just has a way with words, and when she talks, people listen. So she was always someone I looked up to. And even today, like I remember, like I'll go back and remember how she was to me my freshman, sophomore year, and I'll try to be more like her in a lot of ways. So
can you think of something specific, like a specific moment?
Like Dara knows how to, like, when to do things. Because a lot of times during practice, like in the heat of the moment, like I don't need to hear, oh, you're good, you got it, like, because I'm already like going through it. But Dara knows like when to say certain things. Like we had plenty of conversations freshman, sophomore year, not in practice or not in a game, but just after or before, where like she would calm me down or just help me be more confident in myself. So I don't know if I can remember a specific moment in a game where she did it, but like she was just, even though she's talked about how I'm that calming presence, like even though she is the way she is, like she's also very calming to me, and like knows how to deal with me almost.
So you're a junior now, right? Yeah. So more of that responsibility kind of falls on you, right? And you know, and I imagine it doesn't come naturally to you, right? And you know, most people who are quiet, right? There's the whole adage, right? Like I lead by example, right? I lead by the way that I play and the way that I carry myself, things of that nature. When you got hurt though, right? Which we're grateful you're back and playing, and it wasn't as bad as it looked, because I think we were very panicked, right, when the initial injury happened. But when you're hurt and you're not playing and you can't lead by example, you still want to help the team. Did that help you along in your development as a kind of more of a vocal leader, and just trying to, not so much yelling, right, but just giving verbal encouragement or whatever it might be?
I mean, I think it definitely helped me see the game better, so I could offer them a different perspective, because obviously when you're playing, you don't see everything. I don't think it changed the way that I communicate that much, though, only because me trying to be a leader, I'm never, like you said, I'm never the loud one. I'm never the one that's going to scream or do something, but I think I'm more like personal in the way that I'll just go to a person and say something, if that makes sense. Like, I don't address the whole team often, but it's more like individual, if that makes sense. So like if I see Nat have in her head or something, like I'll go to her and talk to her like person to person, and like during a timeout or during on the bench or something. And I think that I did the same thing when I was hurt. Like we had a lot of hurt people saying stuff. Yeah. So I don't want to just repeat the same things they're saying, because we're all seeing the same thing, really. Yeah. So I think I'm more catered to just going to the individual, because I think it just helps more. Like, because when you address a team, people don't think you're talking to them. And I think that's a problem that a lot of teams have, is like that accountability piece. Because when you're addressing a team, like, who are you talking to? Like, oh, not me, you know? So I think I've always been like that. Like I'll go to the person or go to the individual and say something like motivating or say what I see, whatever that is.
Is that, do you operate the same way, Dara?
Yeah.
Or are you like, are you willing to yell at everybody? Are you willing to include everyone? Or do you?
Hey,
you were both for our team for sure.
Yeah, both. Again, it's different when you're a senior because you have a different will. You really have that feeling of like this is your last time. So I think especially my last year, like I had both duties as a leader. I had to have the individual talks and I had to have like the team talks, but I was never afraid to say like no. Like I think it was a lot of the times I ran into as a leader is like someone would make the same mistake twice in a row and like everyone maybe would pat their back like you're good. Like I wasn't afraid to go up to them and be like you're not good. Like you're not good. You have to box out. Like you missed 2 rebounds in a row. Like I don't stop telling her she's good because like she's not. Like I don't know that I had that responsibility. And it's hard because when you're addressing a group, it's very easy for that group not to listen. So it's like you have to say the right things. You have to say it the right way depending on the situation. And then you have to go back it up. So I think the responsibility I had was I had a lot of addressing the group and I also had a lot of addressing individually, but that also helped having Sonia there because you can't just have one vocal and emotional leader. Like you need someone to lead by example too. So Sonia led by example and I could use that when I led. So I was like Sonia I could say Sonia had the first like help coverage, like where's the second? So then they might feel like shit, like I got to do it for my teammate. So we could always use her as an example, especially in film. Like, look, she has your back. Okay, where's the next line of help? Where's this? Where's that? And that's where like the balance of our leadership like made it so easy.
Yeah, when we had Coach McGraw on, we talked a ton about accountability. And I think accountability is like the biggest leadership thing there is. And it's just like getting everyone to feel accountable and to be accountable to each other. That's like huge. And Sonia, I do think like that's a good point you made about like when you're giving a team speech, it's not everyone's like there's 2 prongs of like are they talking about me or are they talking about someone else? Like I think people sometimes see like subtext in big team speeches, and it is often like a lot better to like do it off to the side, or it's like, hey, I'm having a conversation with you and no one else, so there's no subtext and there's no like nothing's going to get lost here. Like we're talking and it's just us. So that's like a really good point that you just made there. Kind of the last thing I want to talk to both of you about is like, we talked about it before we started recording about balancing as a young player. So I told both of you, like my daughter she's 9 years old. She's starting to get into like a lot of things, right? Like she's in club soccer. She's on I'm the coach of her flag football team now, with her club soccer team. And there's like so many things. And I'm curious how Sonia, especially like you are playing multiple sports, like you played club soccer at a high level. Like I know what goes into that, right? AAU basketball is another thing that you were involved in. Like, how did you juggle that? And how did your parents, I guess, if you could speak to them or speak for them, or like how you communicated to them, like, hey, we need to back off a little bit. Like we got to get away from this.
Well, I think one thing is you have to love it. And as a kid, I did truly love it. Like it was very hectic at times. I would be, like you said, driving to a club soccer tournament, and then right after the game, I'm running to the car because I got to drive to a basketball game to then stay over for a tournament. It was crazy, but I think I was able to do it because I loved it. Like I don't think. Like if I asked my parents, I don't think there was a bunch of times where I would be like, oh, I need a break. Like I'm tired of this or I'm sick of this. So I think that's something that definitely helped me is just being in love with sports. Like I didn't want to be, I don't know. I'm trying to think because I also didn't. I also had best friends on my teams, which I think really helped because it wasn't just like a job. I mean, you're a kid, you're having fun. And I was able to play basketball, play soccer, and also have so much fun with my best friends because I had best friends on my soccer team, on my basketball team. So it was kind of like doing both. So I didn't feel like I was missing the aspect of, oh, I don't have a life, I'm just playing sports. Like I was able to do both at the same time, which I think is what really helped me.
Dara, what about you on that front, right? So obviously you had your older brother was a basketball player. Your two older sisters were basketball players, right? So I feel like for you, it was just like you were around it all the time.
Yeah.
But like, was there ever a time when you kind of felt like this? I need to like have a free weekend, or like I need to have a free Tuesday, or whatever it might be.
No, me neither. Because I grew up very fortunate in a sense where like my siblings were my friends. So like Sonia said she had best friends on her team. Like I was on the same AAU team as my sisters, even though I didn't get to play that much because I was so much younger. Like I was still playing with the best competition, practicing with the best competition, and I loved that so much. And like I credit my sisters and my family because I was just like the youngster. Like they used to call me like the baby cub, like of the pack, and like they took me under their belt, and it was so fun because I loved it. And they're like, I could compare it. My parents it's like my parents made me, but my parents had us run track and cross country like just to stay in shape for basketball. And I knew I didn't love that because like some days I didn't want to go at all. Like I would be like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to run in this race. I happened to be really good at it, like distance running. So I was in good shape as a kid, but I was like, I knew I loved basketball so much because I didn't want to do that all the time. And I would say that's a really big thing. Like in our generation today is like parents forcing things on kids. And it's like, you're going to find out sooner or later if your kid truly does love it. And it's a lot of times, like even I train a ton of little kids and like I'll have parents come up to me and be like, she's not getting up at 5 a.m, or she's not shooting 500 extra shots. I'm like, maybe she doesn't want to. Like you can't force it out of a kid. However, like if you recognize that your kid is really good at something or is talented, you have to pour as much fun and enthusiasm into celebrating it as you are into the hard work. So if they're going to get up at 6 a.m. and go score goals, like practice soccer on the field, like you better celebrate it as much with them later on in the day so they can still have fun. Because I think that's the biggest thing that goes missing nowadays is like kids losing fun in it because there's just so many external factors that ruin it, you know?
Yeah. It's hard because like there's so much comparison early in their lives, you know, like they're compared to like every 9-year-old or 10-year-old that they're going against.
Right.
And like people develop at different stages, you know, especially now. Right. So like we always try to impress on her. Like I'm so impressed with her. And like even talking to both of you, like you're so like accomplished, right? Like as a like I'm just speaking as just like a dad now. Like when I see like I just see girls, like I'm so and I say girls because my daughter is in it, right? So that's
we know. So everyone that comments on this podcast can shut up. You're leaving that part in there.
I'll leave it in there per your request. But like no, but my point is like I'm so like proud of her, and I tell her this all the time. Like I'm so proud of her. Like it's very difficult to play at this level, right? Like you're playing at a very high level at a very young age, and there's kind of a lot. Like there's just tension in the air, right? And so there's a lot that goes into it. And so even like speaking to the both of you, right? Like you play in high level basketball games. It's just like it doesn't like all the work and all that goes into it. Like not everyone is able to perform on the level that you two have, right? And high level ACC basketball, right? It's just like as high as it gets in the sport. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't mean it as a good job by you two, but I guess that's kind of where I led. Good job by you guys. Nice job. All right. So to wrap it up, 17-4, right? I believe you're ranked 15th in the nation is the latest AP poll. Got a big game on Thursday coming up at Louisville. They're 12th. They're ahead of you. You're 5th in the ACC, but like you're like one loss separates 1st and 5th right now. So it's a very tight race, right? It's going to come down to the wire. I feel like the injuries are kind of we're moving past those a little bit, right? Cass is still out, but Sonia's back and Maddie's back, and so things are kind of rounding into form. So got some big games coming up. Yep. Sonia, how are we feeling? What are the vibes like with the ladies?
Yeah, I mean, we're feeling good. I think after beating UConn, our team has kind of realized how good we can be. Obviously, after losing to Syracuse, that was a pretty low point. But I feel like we're kind of getting used to playing with each other finally, and just continuing to build that chemistry and just get better. Like, obviously you want to keep what's that phrase called, like
on the upward trajectory?
Yeah, there we go. Just keep getting better.
She was not getting that one, I'll tell you that much.
Definitely not, but it works. But yeah, just keep getting better, and we know that we have a long stretch of games that are going to be tough. But yeah, I mean, we just have to prepare like we do every game. I mean, we're good enough to beat those teams. We just have to play our game. And yeah, I think Coach Ivy has just been on us about being consistent, because when we're all consistent and we all play how we can play, I'm just going to say, like, we're unstoppable. We have too many talented players, but I think what hurts us is the inconsistency. So I think right now we're just trying to focus on that, staying consistent, staying poised, and just playing our game. So we're excited, though. Definitely excited.
We're excited too. One of those talented players is Sonia Citron. Sonia, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for introducing us to Billy. It was a pleasure. Pleasure meeting him. Good luck the rest of the season. Good luck in the regular season. Good luck conference tournament. Good luck NCAA tournament. We'll talk to you soon. What do we always say, Dara?
Keep getting buckets.
Keep getting them buckets. Bye, guys.